Well, how are you? Good afternoon. It's not quite so sunny this afternoon. Very pleasant out here. Quite a nice mild temperature and just a nice breeze just blowing. I've just come down from a walk with my wife and two dogs. We've headed up in our own bubble, a bubble bigger than one, and gone up to the Bernie Vuitton lookout just up in the Whataupoko Recreation Reserve up behind our house. Very pleasant walk. It's always a lovely view out to Poverty Bay from there, watching the surf rolling in. Classic sight. It's good for the soul. Like I said yesterday, we were talking about bubbles. Today I want to talk about a bubble bigger than just the single bubble that some people are having to exist in. Now you might think that being in a bigger bubble is a whole lot better because you've got a lot more people in it. And yes, it can work that way. For us, it's an interesting situation. I'm living at home with my youngest daughter and my wife. And of course, she's having to do, my youngest daughter's having to do a lot of study online now that the school is providing for them. So she's spending a lot of time on her computer up in her room studying. My wife is a teacher's aide. They've just gone back to school and she's spending a lot of time on her computer as well, using social media to teach her students remedial reading. And myself, well, I've got to do a lot more work online as well. So instead of spending a lot of time together, we seem to be spending more time apart. And it may be different for different people. Sometimes your first perception about being in a bigger bubble with more people might mean, you might think that it means that you're going to have a better time. And I think that is the case for a little while. But if you're not used to living in cramped quarters with a lot of people, then that could make for a little bit of tension. But it's always important to find different activities that you can share with those folk. Things that increase the kind of relationship or deepen the kind of relationship that you have with one another. Fun activities that involve the mind as well as the body, and those kind of interactive situations like team games that you might be playing will help lighten the atmosphere at home. So big bubbles, they do have their own challenges, but if there was a preference, I would like to live or stay at this time in a bubble which has more than one. So to the task at hand, of course, not forgetting that we need to do the 25. Just to say that, yeah, we constantly think about and pray and try to heighten the awareness of those people that might find it a little bit difficult during this time of uncertainty and anxiety, where there's a lot of conflicting reports about when the lockdown will end, if it will end sooner or later, and what that will look like at a different level. Businesses are crying out for some kind of relief, and of course business owners are probably suffering a lot because of that. But we'll have to just wait and see. We need to be patient. We need to keep in mind that the most important thing for us to consider is everybody's physical and mental health. So we need to be working on that. So let's go to our 25. I've got a little verse that I'm going to try and remember and share with folk that I hope will be encouraging. And it's coming from the first letter that Peter wrote, the very first chapter, verses 3 and 4. Let's go to our 25. So it's 1 Peter chapter 1, verses 3 and 4. Praise to the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, who, according to his great mercy, has had us born anew to a living hope through the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead, to an amazing inheritance that will never perish or spoil or even fade away, so it's eternal. 9, 10. I was doing it tough today. Those arms a little bit sore after the last few days, but we're there. Hey, look forward to tomorrow. Stay strong. Kia kaha, ka kite anō.